Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to discuss O-Levels Biology P11, October November 2023. Its paper is of 1 hour, 40 marks. So the first question is, what are the characteristics of bacteria? Bacteria के क्या characteristics हैं? हमें तीन columns given हैं, contain cytoplasm, have DNA and have a nuclear membrane. As we all know that bacteria do not have a nuclear membrane, they have a DNA which is circular and they contain cytoplasm. So option B is correct for this, as they do not have nuclear membrane but have DNA and cytoplasm. The question 2 says that some students were provided with some specimens of arthropods. They counted the number of legs on each arthropod. Their results are shown in table. So these are the results: the number of legs and the number of arthropods with the number of legs. 6, 10, 8, 4, 10, 4, and 20 or more 2. In total, these are 20. So as we all know that six number of legs, insects have six number of legs and they are 10. From 20, so it is like 10 out of 20. So insects are 50%. Let's read out the statements. Which statement is correct? Statement A says that the same number of insects and crustaceans were counted. Statement B says that 25% of the arthropods counted were arachnids. Statement C says that 50% of arthropods counted were insects. So statement C is correct, that 50% of the arthropods were counted insects, according to the statement. Okay, question number 3 says that the diagram shows two plant cells, X and Y. These are two plant cells, X and Y. The X has a higher potential than Y. The water potential of X is higher than Y. Okay. In which direction and by which process will water move between these two cells? As we all know that water moves by osmosis. Okay. And as X has a higher water potential, so water will move from X to Y. This osmosis definition says that water moves from its higher water potential to its lower water potential down a concentration gradient through a partially permeable membrane. Okay. According to this option, let's read out the options. A says X to Y active transport, no. B says X to Y osmosis, yes, it's correct. B option is correct. Question 4 says that which row identifies how ions and molecules move by active transport. We are given with 4 rows: against a concentration gradient, down a concentration gradient, through a membrane, requires energy. As we all know, active transport requires energy. Through a membrane, occurs through a membrane. Down a concentration gradient, no. Down a concentration gradient only osmosis and diffusion occurs. Active transport is against the concentration gradient from its lower to higher potential. So option A is correct. This is question number 5. A student carried out 2 tests on a liquid. Bionetic solution was added to the half of the liquid and the liquid was heated and it turned red. It means it is positive for reducing sugar or glucose. Then, when burette reagent was added, the liquid turned purple. It means it is positive for proteins. So, which conclusion is correct? Option A says the liquid contains lipids and glucose. No, it contains glucose but not lipids. Option B says the liquid contains solution of lipids and proteins. It contains proteins but not lipids. This liquid contains solution of starch and glucose. It contains glucose but not starch. The liquid contained solution of glucose and protein. Yes, it contains the solution of glucose and proteins. This is question number 6. Enzymes are involved in many reactions in living cells. Which statement describes the action of an enzyme? Okay, this question is asking about the action of enzymes. Statement A says enzymes are able to set up reactions that would otherwise not occur. No, it isn't like that. Option B says enzymes can only act inside living cells or organisms. Okay. Enzymes increase the rate of chemical reaction. Okay, they are talking about the action of enzymes. So according to this question, option C is correct. This is question 7. Diagram shows the movement of substance involved in photosynthesis in a leaf. This is the movement of substance. This is the leaf structure diagram. These are the options given. We are given with 5 tables. One, a substance move from here to here. Goes from 5 goes from here to here. 4 goes from here to here. 2 goes here. 3 goes from here to here. Okay, let's see for 1. We have carbon dioxide. Would carbon dioxide going out or coming in? It would be coming in, and the oxygen would be going out. There are 2 options for oxygen, B and C. Okay, the second is this area contains xylem and phloem. So xylem vessels carries water. So water would be going from here to here. Let's see, glucose, water, water, glucose, water, glucose. So from B and C, we got water in option C. So it means option C is correct and option B is also right. Option B is incorrect. Question 8 says the diagram shows a plant cell compared with the rest of the cell, which row describe the concentration of oxygen and magnesium inside the structure P. Inside structure P during the daytime, कौन सी रो बता रही है? Concentration of magnesium and oxygen. Okay, this is the structure P, which is highlighted here. Row 1 says, A says, option A says, oxygen is high, magnesium is high in the daytime. Because the structure is chloroplast and chloroplast contain magnesium, it traps sunlight. Option B says oxygen is high, magnesium is low. Magnesium low वाले options तो होंगे. So we have 2 options, magnesium high, A and D. Oxygen low होगा तो photosynthesis कैसे होगी? क्योंकि हमें ऑक्सीजन की concentration भी देखनी है plant cell के अंदर during daytime. As light energy would be trapped by sunlight energy would be trapped by this chloroplast. So more process of photosynthesis would occur and more oxygen is formed, produced. So option A is correct. This is question number 9. Diagram shows a root hair cell. How does the shape of root hair cell help the plant? Okay. It allows root hair cells to search for ions. No. It allows root to search for water. No. It increases surface area for sugar uptake. No. It increases surface area for water uptake. D is correct, as this is a long narrow tube-like shape, and it increases the surface area for the uptake of water. So option D is correct. Question 10 is the student used the apparatus shown to measure the rate of water lost by leafy stem at increasing wind speed. Again, this question is related to transpiration. This is the diagram shown. This is the leafy stem. This is water. These are the air bubble. Which graph was produced from the result? We have to identify the graph. Okay, so the question says that as the wind speeds increases, water loss is more. So we have to identify that which graph is correct. Water, as the wind speed increases, water loss is more. No, in this it isn't. In this it is increasing and then decreasing. but the wind speed is still increasing while the water loss is decreasing. This is also incorrect. In C, the wind speed is continuously increasing. Water loss is also increasing. While in D, it is decreasing. So D is incorrect and C is the correct option. Then this is question number 11. A deficiency disease in children cause soft and deformed bones. What is the name and cause of this deficiency disease? Name and the causes are given. A says, um, option A says name of the disease is rickets and the cause is lack of vitamin D and calcium. B is rickets, lack of vitamin C and calcium. C is anemia, which is lack of iron and calcium. And D is scurvy, lack of calcium. So option A is correct, as we all know that rickets is caused due to the lack of vitamin D and calcium. Okay, this is question number 12. The diagram shows the human digestive system. This is the diagram. Where do digestion and ingestion occurs? We have to identify where do ingestion and ingestion occurs. Ingestion occurs in 1 and the egestion occurs in 3. So option C is correct, as egestion is 3 and ingestion is in 1. And then this is question number 13. Which graphs best represent the effect of pH on the action of gastric protease? So these are the graphs, and you have to identify the effect of the action of gastric protease and the effect of pH. So as you know that the stomach have the pH 2. This is the optimum rate of reaction. Here it is here. Here it's like this graph is incorrect and this graph is also incorrect. So the correct graph is or either A or B. As we all know, the stomach pH due to HCl is 2. The correct option is A because the neutral is 7 and it is away. The graph is away from 7. However, the graph is in between 7. So option A is correct. This is question 14. The graph shows the changes in lungs volume during breathing when a person was at rest and when they begin to exercise. At rest and exercise, and this is the lungs volume. At rest and exercise. You can see the volume at rest is little, however, during exercise the volume increases. Well, from resting to exercise, the volume of the air breathed in each week increased from x dm cube to y dm. Okay. Looking at the graph, which number correctly completes the gap in the sentence? Using the graph, you have to identify this. The first option is 0.5x and y is 3. Second is 5, 0.5 and y is 5. Third is 2 and y is 5. D is 2 and 5. Okay, let's see. From resting to exercise, the volume of air breathed in at each breath increased from x. So it is 2. And after exercise is increased from 2 to 5. You can see in this graph. Just a second. And then I will zoom it. Initially it was here, and after that it increased to the highest. So it is from 2 to 5. So the correct option for this is C. Question number 15 says, what are the products of anaerobic respiration in muscles? Okay. alcohol, carbon dioxide, glucose, lactic acid, and water. As we all knows that in aerobic respiration, the products in the muscle is lactic acid. It is not alcohol, nor carbon dioxide, nor water, nor glucose. So the correct option is D. Question 16 says which label shows where lactic acid is broken down. As we all know, lactic acid is broken down in liver. Then question number 17 says two people carried out a short period of exercise on a treadmill. Each of the two people ran on the treadmill for the same amount of time and same speed. Amount of time is same and speed is same. The graph shows the pulse rate of the two people before and after the period of exercise. Two people, they are running X and Y. These are two people. They did the same amount of exercise at the same speed. Before exercise, their pulse rate. This is the period during exercise. What is their pulse rate? It increased. What interpretation of graph is correct? Option A says person X is fitter and their heart rate increases more during exercise. If the person is fitter, so their heart rate won't increase more during exercise. Person B, X is fitter and their heart rate recovers more quickly after exercise. Let's see. No, it doesn't recover more quickly after exercise. C says person Y is fitter and their heart rate increases more during exercise. No, the statement is also incorrect. In person C and option D says person Y is fitter and their heart rate recovers more quickly after exercise. Yes, this statement is correct. The heart rate recovers more quickly after exercise. Question 18 says which blood vessels carries deoxygenated blood? Okay. We are given with four options, each one having names of two blood vessels. Option A says aorta and vena cava. Option B says pulmonary artery, hepatic vein. C says renal vein and pulmonary vein. And D says vena cava and pulmonary vein. So as we all know that deoxygenated blood is in pulmonary vein, pulmonary artery and hepatic vein. So option B is correct. Question 19 says what describe the microorganism that causes cholera and its method of transmission. This question is from the chapter Immunity and Diseases, and this is recently added to our syllabus. Option A is bacteria and contaminated blood. Option B is bacteria and contaminated water. Okay, cholera is caused by bacteria, so option B is correct. But it is caused by contaminated water, not by contaminated blood. So option A is incorrect, and option C and D are also incorrect because in this we have virus. Correct option is B. 490. This is question 20. The chart gives information about a car being driven at 110 kilometers per hour by someone who has not consumed alcohol. It shows how far the car travels from time the driver sees a hazard and reacts by using brakes and how far the car will then travel before finally stopping. This is the hazard. This is where the brakes were applied. And at this time, the car has stopped. And the person hasn't consumed alcohol. If the same driver consumes alcohol before driving, if he takes alcohol in the driving, the distance traveled before reacting to the hazard increased by 20%. The distance is increased by 20%. So before taking alcohol, the total distance traveled by the driver was 90, 92, 93, 96. And it has been increased 20%. So the increase of this 20% distance, what would be the total distance traveled by the car before stopping? When we take out the 20% of 96, it would be 100. B option is correct. Question 21 says drugs can be used to treat infections in body. What are antibiotics used for? As we all know that antibiotics are used to destroy the bacteria, so option A is correct. Question number 22 says that human immunodeficiency virus HIV affect the immune system, resulting in decreased lymphocytes number. Diagnosis of AIDS can be made when lymphocyte number decrease below 20 to 100 cells millimeter cube of blood. The diagram shows the lymphocytes number after HIV infection in a patient. Okay, this is the graph in which the lymphocytes number is lymphocyte number after the HIV infected infection in a patient. How many years after infection would this patient be diagnosed with AIDS? As the lymphocyte number decreases below 200, the patient is being, as it is mentioned in this question, that lymphocyte number decrease below 200, the diagnosis of AIDS can be made. Okay, according to this, let's see, we'll have a look at the graph. So 200 is almost here. Let's go down here. So it decreases down with 200 towards the nature. You can see that it's below 200, so it would be coming here somewhere, so it would be 9. By looking at the options, we can identify it. So the option number D is correct. It is given 9. Then question number 23 says some people requires a treatment called dialysis to remove the waste products and excess salts from their blood. Okay. For these individuals, which part of the body is not functioning correctly? As we all know, that dialysis is done uh, to remove waste products and excess salts from the body. So the organs are given here. The option C is correct as kidney filter removes waste products and excess salt from the blood. Option C is correct. Question 24 says which change occurs in eye as a person focuses on a vehicle approaching from a long distance? Let's read the options. Ciliary muscles relax, circular muscles contract, lens become more convex, and pupil become larger. No pupil become larger in darkness. D is incorrect. The correct option is C. When a vehicle is coming from long distance, the lens become more convex to focus on. This is question number 25. A light was shown in a person's eye for 50 seconds. During this time, the light intensity was varied. The graph shows the changes of person's pupil eye. This is the diameter of pupil. This is the time. Which statement explains the change in size in pupil? The pupil size initially was 1, then it increased to 5. Diameter by millimeter. Option A says the light slowly become brighter. Okay, option B says the light suddenly become brighter. Option C says the light slowly became dimmer. Okay, brighter वाला option गलत इसलिए है क्योंकि अगर light bright होगी, so the graph would be going like this. When light becomes brighter, suddenly became brighter, so the graph would be more steep. The light slowly becomes dimmer. Option C is correct. You can see this, it is increasing slowly to 1, from 1 to 5. Option C is correct. So question number 26. The graph shows the blood sugar level for a person over 8 hours. they did not exercise during this time. This is the blood sugar level graph. At y-axis we have blood sugar level, at x-axis we have daytime. Where the statement explains the shape of the graph between x and y. This is x and y, and we have to tell the shape of the graph. Which statement explains this. Let's read out the statement. Statement A says that the pancreas produces glycagon, which cause excess sugar in blood to be converted to glycogen. Option B says the liver produces insulin, which causes excess sugar in blood to be converted to glycogen. Option C is that she says that the pancreas produces insulin, which causes excess sugar in the blood to be converted to glycogen. Okay. And option D says that the liver produces glycogen, which causes excess sugar in blood to be converted into glucagon. No, option D is totally incorrect. As we all know that blood sugar level is decreasing between X and Y. So insulin decreases the blood sugar level. So option C is correct. This is question number 27. Which action may lead to the contraction and of hair erector muscle in the skin? These are four actions given. 1. Being sprayed with cold water. 2. Wearing a thick coat. 3. Entering a hot room. 4. Entering a cold room. You have to tell that which action may lead to the contraction of the hair erector muscle in the skin. Okay. So hair erector muscle contracts when being sprayed with cold water and when entering a cold room. So option B is correct. This is question number 28. An experiment of growth of young plant shoot was set up as shown. You can see this in this image. Aluminum foil, direction of light is from here, and this is the shoot tip. What does the shoot look after 48 hours? After 48 hours, how does the shoot is? Okay. Option A says it would be looking this like this. B, C, and D. So as we all know that there is the axon is which is responsible for the bending of plant is present on the tip of the shoot, and the tip of the shoot is covered with aluminum foil. So axon is being covered with aluminum foil, and the direction of light is straight here. So no bending occurs, and option A is correct, and the shoot remains in this position after 48 hours. This is question number 29. A scientist takes 4 pairs of sample from a wild cherry tree. In which pair of sample could there be cells with different genotype? A wild cherry tree, in which pair of samples there could be cells with different genotypes? Okay. A is 2 seeds, B is 2 leaves, C is 2 petals, and D is 2 root cuttings. Different genotype. 2 seeds would contain different genotype. Option A is correct. Question number 30. The diagram shows how a large number of carrots can be produced from small pieces of carrot root. Root of carrot. Small pieces of carrot root are removed. Pieces of carrot root are grown in small plants. Each small plant grows into a new carrot plant. Which method is correct for the plant production? According to this method, the small pieces of carrot root are removed. It would be asexual reproduction. It would be genetically identical cells would be produced. It would be through mitosis, but meiosis cell division won't occur. It is asexual reproduction. So option C is correct. Question number 31. In plant reproduction, the following processes occurs: fertilization, growth of pollen tube, pollination, and seed germination. So in which order do these processes take place? First of all, pollination occurs, then growth of a pollen tube occurs, then seed germination, then fertilization occurs, and then seed germination occurs. So we have the correct sequences: C, 3 pollination, 2 growth of pollen tube, 1 fertilization, and then 4 germination. C is the correct option. Question 32. Which hormone causes the release of an egg cell from an ovary? Okay. As we all know that LH is the hormone that causes the release of egg cell from an ovary, which is also known as ovulation. The diagram shows a baby about to be born, which labeled structure are cervix and uterus. So we have to identify cervix and uterus, and we all know that this structure is cervix. However, the structure number 4, this hole, is uterus. So the correct option for this is D. This is question number 34. In a DNA molecule, bonds between pair of base hold the strands together. Which pair of bases are found in DNA? AC, AG, AT, CG. We know AT is present. We know that C and G is present. So the correct option for this is D. Question number 35. The inheritance of A or B blood group in humans is controlled by 3 alleles: IA, IB, and O. It's always A, B, and O, but we write it as capital I, and here is the capital letter A. We call it A. Blood group A. What are the possible blood groups of children born to a homozygous group A woman and a heterozygous group B woman? B men. Option A is A, and B only. Option B is A, B, and A only. Option C is A, B, and A, B. And option D is A, B, A, B, and O. For this, we have to do cross. Here we can make one. Here we have to write, I'm writing it a bit in a shorter way. A, homozygous A means we have both A's, and heterozygous B means we have a B and an A. So it becomes AB, AB, AA, and AA.